today to show and teach how to craft a spell. Now, remember, there was a time when I was a much younger witch, and I didn't have a great big budget to buy some of the things I wanted to buy in order to craft spells. And I hate doing videos because I never sound right, at least to my ears. So, anyway, things have changed. I'm older now, and I am deciding to put together some of the spells I crafted when I was a younger witch. And I still do these spells. They're very powerful, they work. And I want to share them with you. First of all, they don't cost a lot of money and they bring about ritual into your daily life. Let me get started. First of all, I went to the 99-cent store or the Dollar Tree, and I picked up these. These are just basic scented candles, okay? And they're tea lights. So usually people think when you're using a spell, you wouldn't use a tea light because tea lights go out really quickly. Well, that's not really true. Most tea lights last between 3 to 4 hours. So if you have to, you can actually make a tea light last a week by doing a meditation, a 20-minute meditation. You would light the tea light, do your meditation, and then, snip it out. The following day at around the same time, do the same meditation. So as you go a long time, depending on how you do the magic and what you want to gain from that magic. So today, I picked up these tea lights. Now, I don't know if you can see them, but I'm going to try to push this really, really close up to the camera. This is a scented tea light, and it's lemon and lavender. Now, some would say, well, I was told, well, you shouldn't use scented candles. And I found out that magically that helped me. It's not the only candles I light, but lemon and lavender actually have similar attributes magically, which is interesting because I don't think the person who probably made this is a witch, but who knows? They might be. The reason I say that is because lemon is one of the things we use for love. Lavender is something we also use for love. We also use lavender for protection. We use it for friendship. We use it just to relax and calm ourselves. Lemon is used for purification, so is lavender. Longevity, so is lavender. So together, lemon and lavender actually go together very well for magic. So in saying that, I'm going to show you how to craft a love spell. Now, I want to do some preambles before I show you what to do. First of all, whenever you're casting a spell for love, never cast for a specific person. Please, people, don't do that. You might like Jimmy Mack or you might like Susie May, and they're beautiful and oh, they rock your world. But you know something? You don't ever cast for one specific person because, in a way, you're going against their free will. And like that old Irish parable says, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. So, better to cast for love to come to you and be receptive to love from wherever it comes from, because that's the best kind of love to get anyway. So, I'm going to say one thing too also. Please do not do the whole let me light this candle for love. Okay, I'm going to go on my way now. No, magic is something that we prepare for. It's something that we prepare our lives, our days for. You don't just light a candle and run off and do something because magic is not instantaneous. Okay, it is changing your perspective, it is raising your energy level, it's making yourself receptive to the universe to get something. Okay, so let's say you want love in your life. Before you start reaching out to the universe to bring someone into your life to love you, love, the best love spell you should cast is the love of self, a self love spell. Because I think that the one thing that a lot of people do, instead of loving themselves, they assign themselves to somebody else to love them. And that's just not right because that person's going to fail. Because first, love must start with you. So I would tell anybody before you start casting a love spell for that special someone, let's cast a love spell for love of self because that's the best love of all. And that's the most important love of all. Now, that being said, let's also think about this. You want to bring someone into your life, you want a person who is special. Of course, you do. But you need to hone this in like a laser. So I would tell anyone start writing down the attributes that you want in a lover, a love person, a friend. And don't be vague. Be specific on what you want in a partner. All right. And don't say something like, well, I assume the universe knows what I want. No, you are the practitioner, and this is your magic. And we need to remember what magic is there to do. It is to bend energy, it is to manipulate energy to bring things towards us in this universe that we need and desire and want. And also, it is for us to put forth into the universe things that we want to better our world, like healing of the world, loving of the planet. That is a magic spell as well. And let us not forget that is something that we should also cast for to heal our planet. Not that the planet so much needs healing, but we need to let the planet know we love the planet because it gives us so much. And love is something that we should always reciprocate. I'm rambling. That being said and done, I would suggest before you start casting any candles or magic spells, the first step of magic is to sit down and write out what you want and be specific. Ladies, if you want a guy who has a mustache, even if you may think, well, that's me being superficial, write it down. I want a guy with a mustache. I want a man who's 6'5". But now realize this as time goes on, you can take that list and you're going to start scratching off things that you realize are very superficial, like how tall a person is. Because if a person has a beautiful energy, the looks are meaningless. But initially, it might take the look in order to attract you to the person. Okay. But as time goes on, it's the attributes that will keep you with that person. Okay. So I want you to start writing and writing and writing. And the more you write down what you desire in a partner, the more you're putting it out into the physical universe. All right. And you're going to tweak on that spell. You're going to tweak on that list, rather. You're going to tweak on it. You're going to take things off of it. You're going to add things to it. You're going to realize, I don't need this, but I truly need that. Okay. I personally did not believe that it was important for me to get with somebody who cleaned up after themselves. I thought that was superficial. I was wrong. I do need someone who's kind of neat. I do. I need someone who will give me space when I need to just be off to myself. I need that. Okay. But I also need someone who has a sense of humor. Now, and it's the type of humor that I get, similar to my own. Saying things like, "I want to just take walks on the beach." Well, that's wonderful. Taking walks on the beach are wonderful, but I also need someone who is not a spendthrift. I want someone who doesn't like to just spend money aimlessly. I don't like that in a person. I like a person who's more earthy, who likes to grow a garden like I do, or who likes to raise animals like I do. I need that in a partner. Okay, I desire that strongly. All right. And even if they don't do it, I would like them to respect that I do. All right. These are attributes that you might need and want. You might need a person who does their laundry. And yeah, that might sound silly, but something when you're having to live with someone on a day-to-day basis, nothing is silly. So don't undermine your own magic. So in other words, don't lessen what you need in a partner. If you need that in a partner, then you need it, and that is okay. You don't have to justify that with anyone. Okay? Least of all yourself. Now, that being said and done, let's get on to the practical way of crafting this spell. So, as I said before, years ago, I used to have a lot of tea lamps. Tea lights are simple, they're cheap, and I used to have a bunch of them, and I didn't know what to do with them all. And it seemed to me like, well, gee, I can't do a spell with a tea light. It's so little. So I sat down and I meditated on what I could do with a tea light, and I came up with a really wonderful method of working with tea lights as a magical spell. I enjoy candle magic very much. And colors appeal to me, smells appeal to me, herbs appeal to me. So these things touch upon my magical mind. So this is what I did. First of all, I took these tea lights, okay, and I wanted to create a spell that would last for at least a week. So it had to be 7 days. So what I did was I took the tea lights and I glued them to a paper plate. I know it's not like, well, it's not symmetrically even, but it's 7 tea lights, as you can see. Now, I took the wax out, the wax little lights, I took it out. So all you see is the metal. That's all that's in here right now, currently. And I glued the metal to the paper plate. All right. And it's purple because the tea lights that I'm going to put into it is also purple. Now, purple is a spiritual color. Purple can represent the metaphysical, it represents spirit. All right. And I like to think, well, gee, if I'm meditating and I'm putting out energy, that is a very spiritual thing. Okay. And that's one of the things that it tweaks my magical brain. All right. I like purple. And it's also my favorite color. And it's lavender. It's all those things. So purple appeals to me. So I glued the metal things to this paper plate. All right. And I took out the tea lights, as you can see. Now, what I do after that is a while back, I crafted a bottle of lavender oil. Now, I'm not going to get into how you can craft oil. You can craft oil. It does take time. It's not a quick thing to do. In fact, I would dare say doing this takes well over a month, and it only gets better with time depending on the base oil you use. Now, this base oil in this bottle is jojoba. Jojoba does not go rancid, and I know, and you notice it's in a very dark bottle. It's in a dark color bottle because it will still keep the oil. So not only do I keep this oil in a dark bottle, I also keep this bottle in a very dark space so that it's always in a dark space. The only time I bring this oil out is when I'm going to use it for crafting. So right now I'm going to pop the lid off this like that. Oh boy, that is lavender, and that smells good because it's had an opportunity to sit, and it's happened. It's have an opportunity to. I guess the word would be ferment. And I'm going to take my a dropper. I got this dropper. Um, I believe it was also from the 99-cent store, and it's kind of bent, as you can see right here. But they have some that are straight. I just happened to grab this bent one because that's the one I grabbed. I'm going to take it. I'm going to squeeze some of the oil out, and I'm going to put a little bit in each of my tins. Now, as I said before, lavender represents longevity, protection, friendship, love. So it's a wonderful thing. I burn lavender even on my altar just because. I even grow lavender in my backyard because I use it so often for crafting. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit more oil in these little tins. Okay. Let me show you what I'm doing here so you can get an idea. See, I'm just taking it and I'm dropping it in. Just a few drops in each one of the tins. Okay. Now, me crafting this spell is also part of crafting the magic. So this is actually casting the spell. Making this is part of actually casting the spell. I'm just going to put my dropper off to the side and I'm just going to swirl it around. And I know what I want this for. I want it for just a lot of love and just friendship And it's just the smell of lavender just always brings peace in my heart and makes me feel joy and just balance, a lot of balance. But that's what lavender does for me. And the smell of it, it brings peace to me. So I'm just going to close up my bottle because if I don't close it up, I'll bump it, I'll spill it, and then that's another problem. So there we go. That bottle is sealed and the oil is spread all the way through my tins. Then I'm going to take the tea lights that I had originally, as you can see. I'm going to eventually drop them back into my tins. But since I'm going to craft this for me, I'm going to send love and energy and cleansing because I cleanse away the mundane world from these candles and they will be set aside for sacred use. And that is my will. So mote it be. Blessed be. Now I'm going to take these and I'm going to put each one into the tins. Now there's so much you can do with this. You can add herbs, or you can just do what I did, and I'm just going to add the oil this time. And the reason why, for a practical reason why, I put the oil under the candle, and that is because it's less messy. It's less messy. Now, I can add oil on top, and I might. Like when I finally decide to cast and do this spell, the actual working of the spell, I might drop a drop of oil on each of the tea lights, each light. Now, each day. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and I put the tea lights back in the tins, and this is glued to it. So now this is what you do. I want you to think about what you're trying to bring. Now, when a person is bringing love into their life, they're bringing it into themselves. They're bringing it in from the universe. That kind of magic you want to do on a full moon. So I'm going to start this spell on the week of the full moon. So I'm going to do it on a waxy moon. Okay. I'm going to start it on a waxy moon. And I generally start this, I like to do it at a crescendo. So the week that I know that it's going to be a full moon, I'll start it the week where the moon is just gradually coming into being a full moon. Okay. And you can do this on a planetary. So you're crafting for love and you're crafting for protection. Um, You can start that on a Friday would be a good day. I'm going to go ahead and refer. I'm going to even suggest this book. I would tell people to buy it. This is by D.J. Conway, and it is a very popular book. Um, it is. This is my third copy. I've gone through this book so many times. It's Candle Magic. Now, the reason I bring this up is because to maximize my spell, I want to do this on a certain day, and I want harmony. I want love. And this is going to promote love. Now, I know off the top of my head, I would probably do this on a Jupiter day, which is a Thursday. Okay. It's a good day to do spells, but I may not be able to do it on a Thursday. So I still want to do it in the energy of, say, Jupiter. Okay. Another time, I generally let's see another time I can do this because you're not stuck on just one time. So I still say since I am doing this for love, and I know a lot of you are like, well, what about Venus? Yes, Venus. Okay. But there are different types of love. So let's just say I want a partner love. We're going to do this on a Friday, which is Venus's day, Friday. So planetary Friday, which is Venus. And then there's a time. So if I were to do this on a Friday, I might want to do it Venus, Venus. So I want to do it in the hour of Venus on the day of Venus. So what would that be? For Venus, it would be, say, 3 p.m. on a Friday. And then somebody said, was that Pacific Standard? It's the time that's 3 p.m. for you. So if 3 p.m. is 3 p.m. in New York, then 3 p.m. in New York is the 3 p.m. in, Pacific Standard and here in California. So I'm going to do it at 3 p.m. on a Friday because I know that not only is that the day of Venus, but it's the hour of Venus. There are other hours of Venus, but for me, 3 p.m. is a very convenient time. So that's when I'm going to start this spell. So what you want to do is this. I'm going to start this spell during the week of a waxy moon on a Friday during the hour of Venus, which we're going to choose is 3 p.m. I'm going to light this one candle and I'm going to meditate for at least 20 to 30 minutes on what I'm trying to draw into myself. I am trying to draw love. I am trying to, and in that meditation, I'm going to think about what it is I want in a partner. I'm going to think about what he will smell like because I'm smelling the lemon and I'm smelling the lavender. I'm going to think about his attributes. I'm going to even hear his laughter. I'm going to play love music probably in the background. And I'm going to do that for maybe 20 minutes. Now, remember, I told you that a tea light can last 3 to 4 hours. After I'm done with my meditation, I'm going to leave that one candle lit till it burns out. And every so often, I'm going to look at that candle and I'm going to think about the meditation I did that day. The following day, I light the next candle and I repeat the action that I did the day before. The following day, likewise, up to 7 days. The seventh day is when it's going to be the full moon. And after I'm done with that one candle, the last candle, I'm going to take this and I'm going to thank, deity or my guides for helping me through my meditations. And I'm going to release it fully and completely as I did each day. But the rest of the week, it's done. This spell is done. And I've put my energy for 1 week and I'm going to let it go. Okay. Now, some would ask, wow, that's a pretty cool spell. It is. Okay. Um, and the reason I was able to think of this spell was because um, scented candles bring out my magical me because I like the smell. It does remind me of something. It sets me off magically. The oil that I've crafted, I know the energy of work I put into that because this is all energy work. And you must remember that. So, like I said, magic is not a light a candle and forget it. Hey, I lit that candle. And that's it. Now I'm going to have love. Sit down, meditate on what it is you're trying to draw into. Okay. What is it that you truly want? You know? And like I said, I reiterate before you cast a love spell to bring that special someone into your life, cast a love spell to love yourself. All right? Cast a love spell to even find affinity for the universe that you live in. Send love to mother, and mother sends love back. But just, you know, send a love spell. After I ever, cast a love spell, I also will light a candle of thank you. Just thank you. I want to thank my guides. I want to thank the goddess and the Lord. And I want to tell them, thank you for helping me focus myself and get myself together enough to send out what I want. And thank you for giving it to me. And then I'm going to let it go because the goddess loves me. Sometimes I just want to send a candle out there to my deities and to my guides to say, thank you. Just a simple thank you. There is no formal way to say this. You know, I have seen people say, Goddess is my home girl. And you know something? That is a form of affinity and it's very acceptable. So I don't dismiss any of it, okay? There is no wrong way to do this. So I would strongly suggest to you to always, 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 when you craft a spell, remember, casting a spell is not the lighting of the candle. That's the end part of it. The beginning part is when you physically put together the components that you're going to use to cast that spell. That is when the spell casting truly begins. And on that note, I have crafted my love spell. Remember, this is also for friendship and a few other things because just casting for love without a friendship is kind of not a balanced thing. So I'm going to tell you that whenever you buy a scented candle, before you up and light it and say, well, I like the scent, look up what those scents represent magically. Okay. Look up the magical properties of lemon. Look up the magical properties of lavender. Look up the magical properties of rose or lilac, whatever it is. Look it up And that way, it will trigger more into your magical self, okay? And it would tune you to the higher form of consciousness. Mm. So think about those things. And on that note, I'm going to end this video and I will bid you all a blessed be.